Hello. Today we're going to take a walk through the classroom and show you the prepared environment that your child will walk to and work in every day. Each material is carefully selected and placed on the shelf in order of easy to more difficult, from top to bottom. Each material has a specific place where your child will learn how to access it and how to return it to its specific place. We are going to begin with an area called Practical Life. Practical Life is the most interesting to a young child when they enter the classroom. There are bowls and spoons and funnels and strainers and things that they have seen in the house and they want to go work with it. So that is where they will begin. However, Practical Life forms the basis for how your child will work in the entire classroom. The aims of Practical Life are a sense of order and organization, a development of coordination and independence, a building up of self-esteem, and an opportunity to develop a sense of responsibility to a group or a community. Let me show you. We begin with fine motor and gross motor coordination. This is an example of fine motor coordination. This particular exercise has a large baster, and to use it, you use your whole hand. Scoop, and you transfer the water. The next material on the shelf might be a small baster. It is easier to use all of the fingers rather than the whole palm. Scoop and transfer the water until it's complete. The third exercise is a pipette. You need to use your fingers in your pincer grasp, which also prepares you for writing. So you transfer the water to very small containers. So we go from easier to more difficult. When a child takes a look at the shelf and decides to pick a material, they are using their gross motor ability. They are going to choose a work, lift the tray, carry it to a table, place it down, move their chair, and begin to work. There are also materials for gross motor. This is an example of whipping bubbles. The child would take the pitcher to the bathroom or the sink, fill it with water, carry it with balance, pour it in. They would add soap, whip the bubbles. The fun part is getting the bubbles to go all the way to the top. When they are done, in order to clean the material, they would carry the bucket to a designated place, empty it, use a towel and a sponge, and clean their work. When a child selects a work, brings it to a table or a rug on the floor, completes the activity, cleans it up, and returns it, we call that a work cycle. What you will notice with your children is that in Practical Life, many of the work cycles are very short. As they move through the classroom, the work cycles will become longer and longer and longer. A child who is using the golden bead material in math may spend an hour carrying blocks of 1,000 cubes, 100 squares, adding them to their numerals, adding their numbers. It will be a very long and complex work, and so you will see this happening. This is a version of seeing how concentration develops. It begins very easily with the particular work. Many of them have a very small point of interest. For example, if I am using my small baster on the tray, I might learn that I can do one drop at a time until the very last drop is done. If I'm pouring from a pitcher to a small container, I'm going to hold it and wait until that very last drop comes out. That's building concentration. And concentration will be very important when we move to the larger kinds of work. Because the child works at a material on their own, any results that they see, they own. It becomes their own accomplishment. The teacher will begin to show the child how to work. For example, if we take our baster example, I would show the child the intent of the material, how to carry the tray, how to hold the baster. We might use some vocabulary, show them how to do it, how to clean it back up and return it. That is called a presentation. After this, the child is free to take it as often and work as long as they want. As they see water spilling from a pitcher, they will learn to go slower. As they see that they're able to pour it without any drops, you can see the smiles come on. They did it. And how better to learn self-esteem, but to accomplish things. If you are scrubbing a table, gross motor, and it's dirty, it has pencil marks, and you're scrubbing it, and when you're all done wiping it, you see how clean it is, you don't need anyone to tell you, good job. You know you did a good job just by seeing the results. Many of our practical life exercises also lead to what we call grace and courtesy. For example, there is apple cutting or carrot cutting. A child may take the tray, cut pieces of apple, put them in a bowl, walk around and offer it to another child. They will use tongs and say, "Would you care for an apple?" And the response is, "Yes, please," or "No, thank you." They will use their tongs, hand the apple or the piece of carrot to the child, and they will go and eat it. When we have snack is prepared by the children. You bring bulk cantaloupe or strawberries. The child will cut them with the help of the adult, and they will be served. They will sit at a snack table with several children, have conversation, they will eat, and they will go and clean their place and wash their dishes when they're done. So we also are developing a sense of responsibility towards the environment. One of the particular materials that is incredibly fun is called flower arranging. Right now, we have some flowers that actually came from our planters in the front. Sometimes we have longer ones. Again, the work cycle. The child goes and fills the pitcher. If the vase opening is too small, they will use a funnel. They pour the water in. They can cut the flowers to any length they wish. They put it in, and then they walk around the room and decide where they're going to put it. It's very interesting. Some children will place it on a shelf. Some will put it on the corner of a table where they like to work. And so they are helping to beautify the classroom. The art area is an organized system of shelves, usually often located near the practical life area. It serves as both a source of supplies for the children, as well as housing activities for pre-art skills. Supplies are necessary, such as mugs of different colored pencils, regular pencils, there may be baskets of erasers, there are rulers, different size paper that the children might use, things like stencils, things that they can access on their own. It promotes independence, but it also helps the children learn to organize and plan their activities. For example, if a child is doing the world map and decides to cut out the continents, they will need to go and find the right color paper that matches their continents. They will need scissors, they will need a pencil. Later on, they will need large paper and glue to recreate the map. So when a child begins a project, we may ask them, what is your intent with this? What are you going to do? What things will you need? And then go get them. There are always small containers that they can put the pencils in. There are small trays that they can carry the scissors on, so everything remains very organized. There are several activities on the art shelf that children need to work with in order to learn the pre-skills to be able to do projects in the classroom. For example, things like cutting and gluing. The cutting area houses different drawers in sequence. The paper is very, very thin, so that when a child opens and closes, they will be successful. It's the beginning of learning how to use scissors. They open, they cut, and in one cut, they snip. Later on, they will use strips with lines, zigzags, curves. For example, they will use this, and they will have to start to turn their scissors and do more than one cut, and they will practice. I will warn you that the children treasure these little strips of paper, and we provide envelopes that they can carry them home. So when you get these envelopes, be careful when you open them. They will be filled with cutting. In order to use scissors, the children have also practiced in practical life how to open and close tongs and tweezers, and this supplements. Now they're learning how to use scissors. Children who cannot use scissors yet are shown punch pinning. We have large and medium-sized pins. We have an outline of an object. This is fall, so we have leaves. They use a small rug mat. We are practicing our writing pincher grip. They are going to push on the outline in and out. If you put your holes very, very close together, the object inside, the inset inside, will automatically come out. Young children, when they bring this home, you will see lots of little things like this until they begin to learn to stay on the outline. What is very interesting is to watch, even in very young children, the concentration that comes as they slowly work their pin around, and how proud they are when they can get all around the object. Later on, these types of papers will also be used for advanced cutting. Obviously, if you use scissors, this will require a lot of skill, but the same paper can be used. Children have to learn how to glue, and gluing sounds very simple, but in the beginning, young children think that glue is painted all over the paper or all over your finished product. So we show them a very precise step-by-step way to learn how to use glue. There is an individual tray with glue and an applicator. They choose a shape, dip, little bit of glue in the middle, turn over, push. After we do a few, we may hold it up and say, look, see, this is what glue does. Again, many children in the beginning, when they're done, will glue all over again, so they will need practice. They will keep doing this work.